All right, next one. When your OnlyFans account returns to haunt you. There's been many cases where people are saying, hey, you know what? This person has an OnlyFans. There was a woman that quit her church. I think she was a nun or something like that. She quit her church to go do the OnlyFans thing. This is a woman who has doing the OnlyFans thing, and she tries to volunteer at a school, and she's told no because somebody kind of ratted her out on this stuff. And here's again where you're banging heads with society. There's half of society that says, look, well, maybe it's like 3/3. The first third says, hey, this is empowering. This is strong. Adult, spicy work is work, and we should support it. Then there's a third that's kind of like, do whatever. Just, I don't care. Just keep it your business. Don't push your thoughts on me. Just leave me alone about it. But I'm kind of middle of the road libertarian. Like, you do you. I don't care. If you make money off of it, great. And then there's a third that are like, I think this is bringing down society. I used to be the middle part, but now there is part of me that's kind of like, this is kind of, we are having problems with society. And I think this kind of looseness with everything is bringing some problems. But there's one thing that makes me really dislike this story or dislike this situation. And there's one sentence in here, and when I read it, you'll just shake your head and be like, man, it must be good to be a woman. And we'll get there. It's not far away. So Florida mom, there's a shock, Florida mom says she's been banned from volunteering at kids' school because she's on the OnlyFans site. A mother from Florida says she was told she could no longer volunteer at her children's elementary school due to having an OnlyFans page. Let me put a pause there. I'm okay with that. I mean, you've got somebody that is very, out there publicly, and having that around elementary school kids, I think, look, I would not want a spicy worker. I would not want a woman of the night working with my children. I just wouldn't. So I'm okay that they say, hey, you know what, because of her involvement with elementary school kids. And I also wouldn't want her really being involved with high school kids either, because we've heard the stories of what some of the educators and these teen boys are doing. They say during a press conference this week, Mom Victoria Treese told reporters that a parent at her children's school alerted staff to her account on OnlyFans, the subscription service that has become popular thanks to its user-generated spicy content. Treese, whose children are ages 5 and 10, so she is a mother herself, said she regularly helps organize activities at the school, but claims she was banned after the unidentified parent sent images from her subscription-only page to administrators. This is spicy work, and if this information is available, I think there is a right to say, hey, I don't think they should be working with minors. Now, if you disagree with me, let me put a pause on it and put it this way. Let's say there's a guy that is out there putting out spicy pictures, right, of himself in an undressed state, and him engaging in adult acts on video. Would you want him around your children? And more specifically, would you want him around young female children? Now, you can say, I'd be okay with that. The two are not connected. The two are not correlated. And I'd say you're right. But did you know on American Airlines and other airlines, a single male, like a male that has booked a ticket by himself, such as me, and it doesn't matter if he's married or not. I just mean a male adult flying alone cannot be seated next to any child that is a minor. So if I bought a ticket flying from, Miami to LA, and I get on the plane and the person next to me is a 12-year-old girl, they will switch seats around. And I haven't pulled up the story in a while, but if you do a search about adult male next to child on, they won't let them sit next to each other. So then, in the same vein, if you say, okay, if he's putting out, kind of spicy content online that shows him in an undressed state or perhaps engaging in naughty videos with somebody else, then just playing along these same rules, he wouldn't be, the society would not be okay with him probably being around young children. Well, I'm all about equal rules. Like, if we're going to do the rules equal, let's do them equal across the board. In the same thing, you can say, okay, well, she's engaged in this kind of stuff. I do not want her around my minor children. And that's what the school board has decided. She says nobody has the right to judge what other people do for a living, 30-year-old Tree said, according to WESH. I feel judged and so isolated. My answer to that is, good. You should feel judged. Now, again, I don't judge you for the work that you do. I don't judge that you make money off of it. You do you. But if you want to work with minors, people are going to look into what you do for a living, and people are going to look at your other activities. And they are going to judge you on it. And again, everybody that's out there doing this stuff, when they turn around and they say, oh, well, I want to kind of get away from this and re-engage in society in a normal fashion, but they're holding this against me. Yes, they will. And it's not written down anywhere. It's just people make judgments of other people all the time. Look, if I throw my hoodie up, now I'm 5'6", so I'm not a very intimidating person. But if I throw my hoodie up and pull my sleeves down and I have kind of dark clothing on and I'm leading 200 and, 100, I don't know how big Rottweilers get, but they get pretty big. But say I got 220-pound Rottweilers that have collars with spikes off of it and chains wrapped around my fists, and these dogs are pulling and growling, and I'm walking down the street, you're going to look down the street and go, that dude's got some too crazy, they look like feral dogs, and I don't know, he might be a psychotic, crazy person. I'm going to walk to the other side of the street. And then as you walk closer on me, you might go, oh, actually, those aren't spike collars. Those are just choke collars because he's training his dogs, and they're not really Rottweilers. They're 2 black labs. Oh, and he's like a 5'6", 40-something-year-old dude that, I don't know, doesn't have a lot of big muscles and, goes, hi, how you doing? And they go, oh, he's not a threat at all. But there was that judge. People will judge. Now, are they bad for judging me for that? No, not necessarily. There are things that kind of give you some pause. Now, if you judge people for the wrong reason, then you could say, okay, maybe we need to fix some things in society. But when you do spicy content online for money in front of strangers, you need to be judged if you're going to be working with minors. You just do. She said she was accompanied by her attorney, Mark Najim, who said they plan to sue the school district for at least $1 million. Notice she's not suing for the right to work with the kids. That's not what she's suing for. She's suing for money. If she really just cared about removing this stigma, if she really cared about just working with the children, then she's suing for the rights to work with the kids. But no, she's suing for money. Now, her being an Onlyfans content creator, I can't be surprised that money is very important to her. Here's the crazy thing. They say, not yet, but they say Neil James, nor the district, Orange County Public Schools immediately responded to people's requests for comment. I was humiliated, and I should not, and no one else should be concerned about what another parent does, she explained. I just love spending time with my kids. I have a great relationship with other parents and students. Okay. But that doesn't mean that necessarily you need to be involved with those kids. According to Orlando Sentinel, Treese alleges school officials told her she could no longer volunteer with the children on October 13th. However, she says she was never given a formal letter stating the decision. Treese, who has been a member of Onlyfans for 2 years, said she has since received support from other parents at the school, of course, because progressivism. 1 minute of my job a day is not my whole life. It's not my life of being a mom or being a parent. So 1 minute of my job a day is not my whole life. So she's saying she basically does her OnlyFans content for a minute a day, snapping off some pictures or whatever. She says, I think everybody's just floored, she added, because they're like, we know you. We know who you are. Now, here's what's crazy. Did I miss the sentence? I must have missed the sentence, but it's here. Let me find it. Oh, come on. Sorry for this. I saw it in here, but maybe I had it in another article. And this is what makes me, so she says she works a minute a day. I'll just tell you because I read it in the other article. I can't find it. She makes $150,000 a month from the page, I think she said. $150,000 a month. $150,000 a month. That's what, 1.75, 1.8 million dollars a year, and she's going to go out and sue the school for $1 million on top of that. If you've got that kind of money, just sue the school to be able to work with the kids, take it to a court, and let the court decide. But no, she's going for more money. And now here's a photo of her. Here's a photo of her. Let me zoom out. She's a mother of two. And for those of you just listening, she's heavily tatted, butterfly tats and stuff on her belly, on her arm, on her other arm, on her thighs, on her calves. I mean, I'm okay. Like, it's a fair trade. Like, if guys say, you know what, I will pay $5 or $10 or whatever a month that she charges to see her without her clothes off, like, okay, it's a free market. I got no problems with that. I guess I'm just a little bit surprised that she would get so many fans. I don't know. I guess I'm surprised she would get so many fans. Maybe my taste is just different than everybody else's. But I will end with this. This isn't a dating profile of the day, but this is a post from Tinder. And this shows you the interactions between men and women and why I say even if you get to talk to a girl, the odds of you, this is just from October 28th, just a couple of weeks ago, the odds of you actually getting a date are not going to work. Even if you get a swipe, even if you start talking, this says this guy matched with this girl, and he says, "Marry me." That's the first line. He says, "Marry me." She says, "Ah ha ha, wow. How tall are you first?" So again, now the "marry me," I don't know why you would start your flirting with that. But I haven't understood online dating for a long time now, apparently. He says, "Marry me." She says, "Wow, how tall are you first?" There you go, right to a physical asset. So he flips the script and does it right back to her. He says, "I'm 6'1". How much do you weigh first?" And she says, gross throw up emoji. "Definitely need to grow up a bit. Too young for me. My son has more respect than you." Never ask a woman that. So here we've got a mom, and she wants to know how tall he is. So we got a single mother wanting to know how tall this guy is. He answers 6'1", so he does answer. And then he says, "Okay, but how much do you weigh?" Now, if you say, well, that's not fair, of course it's fair. Now, if I'm 5'6", if I could decide one day to be 6'1", yeah, I probably would. It'd make reaching stuff on higher shelves a little bit easier. It'd certainly make dating easier. But in the same token, I don't know, man. When I used to have a sports car. When I got in my sports car, I fit very comfortably. When I fly on a plane, I have more leg room, more room than anybody else. I can sleep in a regular sized bed without my feet dangling off the end of it or having to angle myself. It's easier for me to find clothes. So, I mean, there are pros and cons. But the point is, I can't change that about myself. But that's important to her. So if a man says, "Hey, you know what? It's important for me that you are slim and petite," and she says, "Oh, you're gross. You need to grow up." Again, it just shows you the double standards of this stuff. And that's why, again, women are becoming their own worst enemies. They're pushing men away. They're making men dislike them, actively dislike them. Their personalities are not good. And so men are falling into two classifications nowadays. The ones that will sleep and have fun with women, and the ones that don't want to be bothered with women. The pocket of men that actually want to date and have a long-term relationship with women and care about them and love them. And again, I talk with Coach Greg Adams in my video that I did with him that I'll be, like I said, I'll be chunking it up and putting it out on YouTube. We talk about that. that men are just like, you know what, this isn't worth it for me anymore. And it's women's own fault that this is happening. Guys, if you want to, if you're here on YouTube and you want to support me over on Locals, it's betterbachelor.locals.com. I do all my videos over there unedited and full length. I also put podcasts over there for supporters. Supporting is like $5 a month. Actually, you can get it down to like $4 and change a month if you do a year-long sub. There's a discount there. And for those of you that are here on Locals that are supporting me, I appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.